To item number 5, board comments. Commissioner Hill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've got several comments this morning. I'm going to try to make them as brief as I possibly can, but I want to touch on a few things. And first and foremost, I want to say thank you and hats off to Mr. David Smith, Sue Roberts, Jackie Lunsford, and Mr. Andrew Hammer for what a fine job they've done on yesterday, as several of us was out at the South Rockdale, South River Trail grand opening kickoff. The round trip walk was 4.8 miles, and I saw several of our employees as well as several of our residents who actually walk on a regular basis out there. And it's a wonderful nature scene. It was a really serene environment, and I want to encourage as many of our residents to take full advantage of this park and the amenities that it brings out in the South Rockdale area, just off of East Fairview Road out there. Hats off to the staff and the team and the entire organization who went forth with making this happen. And I understand there is much more to come. So it's still under development, but if you want to get your walk on, I want to encourage you to please, ma'am, please, sir, to go out and get your walk on. In the conversation, as we've been talking over the last, I guess, 30 days plus now here in county government about health and wellness. I had an opportunity to spend some time with our HR director on yesterday talking about the development of a real live health and wellness program. You heard the chief of staff some weeks ago mention that Coventry, the new healthcare provider, will be providing us with some jumpstart money, jumpstart funds of $140,000 to help us kick off a health and wellness program for our county employees. And I said to the HR director, as I made a suggestion, that perhaps we should kick this off with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of excitement, perhaps having a Biggest Loser type program, maybe getting the sheriff's department and the fire department and having a Biggest Loser contest, and let's get some people in shape, but not just stopping with the sheriff and our public safety personnel, but let's look at all of our employees. My concern is the rising cost of our claims and insurance premiums. I'm talking about 24 to 35. These are the numbers that was presented by the broker. 24 and 35% increase in health insurance claims and premiums. This is contributed to obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, and I think all of us, as I walked 4.8 miles yesterday, several of us, let me put it that way. I don't want to offend anybody, but I want to be very direct about this. I'm serious about this health and wellness initiative here in our county, and I think that we need some complete buy-in throughout the department directors and deputy directors and all of our employees. Again, not stopping with public safety. I mention them because they are first responders. And we certainly need our fire department and our sheriff's department deputies to be able to be responsive to the needs and the nature of their work out there on the front line day in and day out. And I'm not going to let this die as I continue to talk about it. I'm excited about what is coming. Hopefully January 1, we will have something to unveil to all of our employees concerning an outstanding health and wellness program. I think Ms. Patterson, our deputy director over at HR, will be actively enrolled in a program to educate us how to really start an assertive health and wellness program here in our county. So obesity, high blood pressure, hypertension, and a host of other diseases that contribute to the rising cost of claims for our employees are definitely some contributing factors. So I wanted to encourage everyone, residents as well as employees, please, sir, please, ma'am, take full advantage of all of our parks, whether you go out to South Rockdale, Johnson Park, Pine Log, any of those areas. Let's get our walk on, and let's be more health conscious, because it's a real situation, not just in Rockdale, but across the state and across the country. The next thing I wanted to make mention to this morning, Mr. Chairman, is the Ordinance Review Committee. We put together an Ordinance Review Committee, and I want to call out the names of some of those of all of those residents who took an active role in giving of their time and talent to be a part of this ordinance review committee, along with Mr. Marshall Walker and his staff, who worked very diligently after hours to make sure that we took a look at several of our local ordinances and how we can improve some of our ordinances in the area of economic development to make Rockdale County a today, a right now county moving forward in the days ahead, and looking at some of the ordinances that we currently have on the books that's antiquated and outdated, and some of the things that we need to start thinking outside the box on. And those folks who took an active role include Mr. Lewis Carr, Ms. Casey Dix, Mr. Jay Grover, Mr. Alonzo Hill, and Mr. Rocky Patel. I just want to say thank you to all of those residents who volunteered their time, talent, and service and came in and partnered up with Mr. Walker and his staff, because we need this type of support and involvement from our citizens to get involved and to let us in county government know some of the things that they think we need to be doing for the community, for the county as a whole. And there were several recommendations they've made. Mr. Chief of Staff, Mr. County Attorney, I will be sending both of you all an email asking that you will push this envelope just a little bit farther so we can come back to the Board of Commissioners and perhaps entertain how we can turn some of these things into fruition and make them revised and modified ordinances in the days ahead. So I want to say thank you there. Moving along, Commissioner Van Ness is not here this morning, so I'm going to take up some of her time and mine, as I have a couple more items I want to address, Mr. Chairman, if I will.
Please move forward.
Thank you so much. There's a big crying and outpour all across the nation, and of course you just heard me talk about jobs and employment opportunities here in our county. Rockdale County is an equal opportunity employer, okay? And I want to make sure that I say this and say to all of our citizens, we don't have a big laundry list of jobs available. We do not. Things are tight all across the community, including Rockdale County. But we do have a few job opportunities available. I want to encourage those folks to go to the website or visit the Human Resources office, and for those skills that you have and you can leave a resume and make application, please, sir, please, ma'am, do that. We want to afford every one of our residents an opportunity to make application to be gainfully employed. As we talk about shopping Rockdale with our businesses, we also want to make sure that anybody that is seeking of employment have an opportunity to get a job in this county. And this is unusual. But I want to take a seat as a commissioner and say out there that I run into a lot of folks who are in need today, and I think we need to do all we can to promote this and encourage people to be a part of making application through county government. I've asked the HR director if he would give us a quick list of those jobs that stand available right here, right now. And outside the box thinking is going to have to start right up here, Mr. Chairman. If you would take just a quick moment and just mention the names of those jobs that you all are seeking applicants for at this time, please, sir.
Darrell Bowie, Director of Human Resources. Our current openings are Administrative Clerk, Board of Assessors, Civil Engineer 1, Water Resources, Communications Supervisor, Fire and Rescue, Deputy Road Patrol, Sheriff's Office, Detention Officer, Sheriff's Office, DUI, Court Surveillance Officer, State Court, Emergency 911 Operator 1, Fire and Rescue, Facility Attendant, Part-Time, Parks and Recreation, Janitor Custodian, Maintenance, Maintenance Worker 1, Park Maintenance, Mental Health Clinician, Juvenile Court, and Office Manager, Communications 911.
Thank you, Mr. Bowie. I do realize and recognize that every single resident does not have access to a computer. A lot of us think that, oh my goodness, a home without a computer. There are some people who just don't have access to a computer. Just by him standing up there and making that announcement, someone will be able to get into their vehicle and move and drive over to the HR department and make a hard copy application and be able to apply if they have the skills to match the jobs that he just announced. I think we need to be aggressive in our announcement in the county to do all we can for our residents who are unemployed. And I do appreciate Mr. Bowie taking the time to do that. I also mentioned to Mr. Bowie yesterday about the idea of revising the application process, especially the one that's online. We talked about making it more user-friendly for the applicants and those people who are seeking employment. So that's something that he and his staff is looking into as well. Yes, I want to encourage everyone to continue to shop Rockdale, our local businesses. From the meeting we had last week, I did receive several emails and a few calls from some local businesses. They appreciate when we encourage our residents to shop local and buy here in Rockdale County. And that's whether you live in the city limits or the businesses in the city or the county, it makes no difference. We need that revenue in this community. So I'm encouraging you all to spend and shop local, okay, and shop in Rockdale. The final last thing I want to mention this morning, Mr. Chairman, I want to say thank you to the residents who joined us this past weekend in downtown Atlanta as I took an active role in marching from the state capitol to Ebenezer Baptist Church in reference to the Troy Davis case. I did receive the news this morning that he was denied clemency by the Pardons and Parole Board. There were several Rockdale County residents that participated in that march. I think this is a tragedy on behalf of the state of Georgia, and I make this announcement as one of your commissioners. This is something that brings sadness to my spirit because there is way too much doubt. Many of you know that I spent 15 years in law enforcement, so I've spent the remainder of my life being pro-police, and I'm in support of our law enforcement. But I also believe that when there is doubt, we cannot take the life of someone, and there's a lot of doubt involved in this particular case. It is still yet to see what's going to happen. The last and final word is in the lap and on the desk of the governor of the state of Georgia. I ask you also to join us, as Josie Dean has already articulated this morning. Join us in prayer for the Davis family and for the family of the slain police officer, that the right decision is made. Again, I think it is a tragedy that this man has spent 20 years on death row. And with all this doubt, the state of Georgia seemed to be moving in the direction of executing and taking his life. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I thank all of those residents who took the time out of their busy schedule this past weekend to come out and be a part of that protest and to voice their opinions. Thank you so much for being patient. That concludes my announcements this morning.
Thank you, Commissioner. Certainly appreciate that dissertation here. Ladies, as the Commissioner stated, we want to thank also, again, not to be too redundant here, the team of the Recreation and Maintenance Department for the dedication. That's just a start, ladies and gentlemen. You might, those that walked yesterday evening, you might have saw a little spur off. That spur off will be continued, as Andrew mentioned earlier, going down the river trail, South River Trail, that would go down to about 138 and take it into the monastery. Over the period of time, there will be close to 20 miles of walking path, bike paths, starting to Arabian Mountain and going through Rockdale County. It is our intent and vision to move that trail up through the city of Conyers, which you see some of the trails now done behind Parker Road right there. We want to take it in through downtown Conyers and up to the horse park. We eventually want to take that pathway down past the horse park up to the Causey Mills Park. That's Sam Cook. Up to the Causey Mills Park, and hopefully we find the resources to culminate that walking trail up at the Randy Pointer Black Shoals Lake, and take that. Also, we have a spur that will take it into Newton County and eventually over to the coast. So Rockdale, that's a lot to be excited about. In the 4 million years of history here through the Arabian Mountain, there's our monastery of the Holy Spirit has been recognized in this brochure as we go forward. We will also submit an application to ARC to recognize Rockdale County and ARC and the monastery and the community initiative program. We're waiting to get the results on that. As I close here, congratulations goes out to the New Rock Legal Society on a successful Know Your Rights forum that took place this past Saturday at the Nancy Ginn Library. The attendance was well attended. There's a lot of questions. I foresee them doing that again in the future. The president is Afina Ten, and she is the president of the all-volunteer legal team from both Newton County and Rockdale County. So there's an opportunity to contact them. I don't have the number here with me today, but certainly we get the number for you, those you have issues and concerns they would like to address. Last but certainly not least, I want to congratulate the city of Conyers and the mayor and his team, because over the weekend, or Friday evenings, I think over the next several weeks, they will be doing music and fun in Old Town Conyers. So they were there Friday evening with some music and fun. So if you get an opportunity, I know the weather's getting cool, wrap up a little bit more and go out and enjoy the music and the fun. So those are my comments for the day. And as always, I want to thank our staff for their hard work and continuous efforts as we move into budget process and budget season to give me the budget so I can submit the budget to our legislators for final approval sometime later this year. So, Madam Rutledge, is there a need today for an executive session?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Hearing none, then I call this meeting adjourned. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.